Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and a happy Sabbath. Cleophas Malala is coming up with new demands, and they have thrown the spanner to Kenya Kwanza Alliance. You have to realize that Kalonzo Musyoka's move to work with Raila Odinga have actually increased the stakes of Musalia Mudavadi in Kenya Kwanza. If today Mudavadi will walk out of Kenya Kwanza, William Ruto is going to lose a perceptional value and is going to be an isolated man. But in the paradigm shift, Musalia Mudavadi is the isolated man in Kenya Kwanza. There is a school of thought that William Ruto will either have to choose a running mate from Central Kenya or Western. Now, Cleophas Malala is making a demand, is putting a price on the running mate spot to go to Musalia Mudavadi. To irony of many, immediately 2 weeks ago, when RIGATHI GACHAGUA laid the ground and said that the agreement between William Ruto, Mudavadi and Wetangula was that the running mate was going to come from Central Kenya, ANC was the first party to come out and dismiss and went head-on against RIGATHI GACHAGUA. After RIGATHI GACHAGUA dropped a hint that he might be leaving that race to focus on Madera parliamentary seat, ironically, ANC party which lectured RIGATHI GACHAGUA that the running mate choice is not within his jurisdiction, Cleophas Malala on the other side is now coming up to do what exactly RIGATHI GACHAGUA was making. So which way? And before I play for you the clip by Cleophas Malala, there is something that is coming out here, that the ANC party is not speaking in one voice, or rather by extension, there are some few divisions within the Kenya Kwanza. But first, I want you to listen to this clip. Cleophas Malala was speaking in a burial that was somewhere in Kakamega. And this is what he said. And there are just two probabilities here. Either Malala is speaking on behalf of Mudavadi, sent by Mudavadi, or Malala is being used by William Ruto to speak about something to Central Kenya team. It is those two options. So depending on how you look at it, you can ask yourself, who is Malala speaking on his behalf? Is he speaking on his behalf on the behalf of William Ruto or on behalf of Musalia Mudavadi? Because that also is very important. But then if you follow this politics, you'll realize that Malala is the kind of a leader, is a hardline around Musalia Mudavadi, but behind the scenes is a diehard of William Samoei Ruto. That is something that you cannot dispense. Now let's try to pick up what he's saying. Malala is trying to introduce 3 variables into the running mate push. One is competence. That is why he's saying that let interview be done between RIGATHI GACHAGUA and William Ruto and Musalia Mudavadi so that they can find out who exactly can be the running mate. That is number one. Number 2, experience or the stature of the leader. Now, if you look at the experience number 1, the competence number 1, RIGATHI GACHAGUA rose from the ranks of the civil servant, but Mudavadi is a seasoned and competent position, who has even been a minister and a deputy prime minister. So on that, Mudavadi takes it home. 2 is experience and stature of leadership. Mudavadi is above RIGATHI GACHAGUA. 3 is party representation instead of regional representation. And that is why he's missing. That is why he's missing the gap. Because William Ruto might be looking at the numbers, and that is why RIGATHI GACHAGUA are keeping their stand that the running mate must come from Central Kenya. But the ANC team might also be seizing the moment And this is how they're seizing the moment. Because Raila have already captured Kalonzo, and in Kalonzo, in the other end, Kalonzo is likely to be given a running mate at that other end, and that downplays the regional representation in terms of numbers. So this is what maybe Cleophas Malala team are also, the Musalia Mudavadi team are also trying to push on their way. I don't know whether it can work, but again, intentionally, this is what they're saying. And they're putting Ruto in a precarious situation. Does he pick loyalty? Does he pick the perceptual value and optics of Kenya Kwanza instead of the numbers that every party is bringing on board? So guys, that is it. Now, before you look at why the intention of this Runningmate push by Cleophas Malala, if I want to request you that if you're watching this video, kindly confirm your subscription, and thank you very much for your continued support. Also click the notification bell, and remember you can join us in the comment section on what do you think is the intention of this Runningmate push. If Musalia Mudavadi if Cleophas Malala is talking on behalf of Mudavadi, then categorically Mudavadi is showing discontent or discomfort at Kenya Kwanza, and likely to cede ground and leave. Because now look at it this way. From the statement that Cleophas Malala is making, he's simply saying that you either give Mudavadi the running mate or else. That is what he's saying. This could come out and Mudavadi could be planning to redeem himself, because the truth of the matter is that the ground is hostile for him in Kakamega, and the people that are being affected by that hostility on ground are the Cleophas Malala and ANC candidates that are seeking elective seats there. So, and remember the other day Agoi was also making a statement that Mudavadi was supposed to go to the ballot, but he didn't go to the ballot simply because he didn't have campaign funds. So Malala and other candidates are feeling the pressure on ground, and now they are telling Mudavadi that if he doesn't become the running mate, then he is underutilized and he will be very unpopular there. And they know the moment William Ruto names and someone as a running mate apart from Mudavadi, the goose is cooked for ANC candidates in Kakamega and Western. And so Mudavadi is also putting himself in that situation and laying that ground that if you don't give me the running mate, I have an option and I can be welcomed in Azimio or some other part. That is a probability. Or maybe he can go now start teaming up with Jimmy Wanjigi and Martha Karua and all that. This, let me prepare you that this is the political season that you will see very unfamiliar defections. So this could be a ground for defection, not honestly on the running mate, but on the ground. Two, I want to feel like ANC party or Mudavadi handlers have already known that the running mate negotiations are going on, because UDA are supposed to hold their NDC on 15th and today is 13th, so I think it is on Tuesday. And to try to increase the stakes or maybe to influence that negotiation, now Mudavadi is sending Malala, because he knows that as of now he's indispensable. So just to try to influence that negotiation or to inject this perspective in the negotiation is bringing up this other narrative. Thirdly, Ruto might have planned to betray the Rigathi Gachagua and the team, because if you look at it, the imaging at Kenya Kwanza, Mudavadi comes second. If you are not going to name Mudavadi as the running mate, I can tell you that whatever has been happening is there is a trap that has been laid on him, because in the posters it's been Ruto, Mudavadi, Wetangula, when they were in the US, Mudavadi took really great limelight. Now, if you step Mudavadi back and bring a running mate, of course, the running mate has to have some more limelight with the presidential candidate than the Mudavadis. What this makes is going to make his demeanor will go down. And this could be the trap by William Ruto. So what William Ruto has done is maybe has decided he's going to work with Mudavadi as the running mate. This statement he's making is just giving a direct message to the Central Kenya team that these are the variables he's going to consider, and there is a likelihood of Mudavadi becoming the running mate. And so, Cleophas Malala is delivering this message to test the response on the other side. I want to believe that they knew and they were preempting that, of course, they want to see what the Central Kenya team will say, how they will react. Because on this, if they keep quiet, Ruto might feel, okay, let me move. But if the ground is also very hostile, because this is coming, and today Ruto will be in Central. In fact, better part of this week, Ruto will be in Central. And he will gauge the response there. If he realizes that if the running mate is not coming from there, he's not going to stand a chance, then he's going to cede ground. But this could be a probability that Mudavadi is his running mate. Lastly, Cleophas Malala and the Kakamega gubernatorial seat is playing out here. Cleophas Malala and Boni Khalwale have not agreed on which way forward. So one of the things that maybe strategy that Cleophas Malala is using this running mate hardline on Mudavadi, so that maybe it is not honest Mudavadi pushing in, because I want to believe there are just a lot of underhand deals that happened. I am not going to be shocked if it is that Mudavadi was given some money to join. It is highly possible. Because again, Mudavadi does not have the campaign financing. That one we had been told by Agoi. So he has to cede ground. He's at the mercy of deputy president. Now, Cleophas Malala might be pushing this narrative. He becomes a hardliner, and through the hardliner, the UDA team can approach him and favor him for the Kakamega gubernatorial seat in favor of Boni Khalwale. I may not be shocked. So he's just bringing this to up his stakes at ANC, because if you look at UDA, Boni Khalwale is not a very strong negotiator for UDA. In fact, Malala is more strong in ANC in Kakamega than how Boni is strong for UDA in Kakamega. Okay, although UDA only has Boni Khalwale. And if you look at this could also be a strategy. But my punchline is just this: Mudavadi is planning to leave Kenya Kwanza. The question is, where? And if you look at the tweet by Denison Sarigo, they were actually mentioning that they welcome Mudavadi in Azimio. And the safest place from Mudavadi now is Azimio. It won't matter. It will have gone, but because there is also the perceptional value. So, guys, what do you think? That is my analysis.